Hey folks, Tony from TMcActual. I'm going to do a little short video for you here, and we're going to talk about situational awareness. And I know there's a ton of videos out there about situational awareness, but we're going to kind of focus on situational awareness while driving a vehicle. Now, usually when we talk about situational awareness, we're looking around, spotting threats, this, that, and the other, in a tactical, somewhat tactical environment, or our everyday vigilance, I guess I should say. And I got a random wrench in my pocket. It kind of throws a wrench at things. I've been working on Black Betty, so there you go. Running up here to get some parts for it. But anyway, getting back on topic. Driving my vehicle, situationally aware while I'm driving, looking around, driving farther ahead mentally, so I don't have to wait till I get right up on my exit and zoom, I'm off of it. You know, that's one thing we talk about in tactical driving training, is learning to drive farther ahead. Plan before he gets there. Try to stay 2 steps ahead. And it's kind of the same way when I'm scanning a crowd, looking for threats and stuff. I'm trying to plan ahead for that. So the same thing with my vehicle. I'm going to plan ahead before I ever get there. So I may be driving down the road and sit here and think, well, if this car does this, then I'm going to do that to counter for it. If they pull out in front of me, I need to always remember to steer towards the rear. If they're going across the road towards me, steer towards the rear to try to miss that collision. Same thing with an animal darting out in front of you. You always want to steer to the rear. A lot of times we jerk towards the animal and we actually end up hitting the animal when we probably could have missed them if we had went the other way. So we just need to be more vigilant when we're driving. I'm not necessarily looking for armed threats, although we do have road rage going on a lot, and I'm going to talk about that just a little bit here in just a second. But just kind of driving, being more aware of what's going on. For God's sakes, don't be on your phone or anything like that, trying to distract yourself or playing with the radio, reaching down to get anything, because you're driving a big weighted vehicle that can do some damage. Like today, I'm in our F-250 King Ranch. This thing is big. It's got a big steel bumper on the front of it. It causes a lot of damage. So I want to make sure that I'm safe for me, my family, other people. You can see I've got little Actual in the back. This Actual sitting over here. So I want to make sure everybody stays safe as I'm driving, keeping mentally aware of what's going on around me. Now, let's talk about when we come to a stop. We come to a stoplight, and instead of, when we roll up to that stoplight, instead of immediately grabbing your phone and checking emails, or returning emails, or text messages, or whatever like that, start looking around. We come into a stop here, the stoplight. I'm not going to just sit here. I'm going to glance my mirrors. I want to see if anybody's coming up on my vehicle as I'm going around. Staying safe, make sure nobody's creeping up, trying to get in the doors or anything. And that kind of goes back to being tactically aware and keeping that situational awareness going on here, because when I step into a vehicle, I shift my gun around. If I'm not already carrying appendix, I'll shift it around to carry appendix. So for the simple fact, my gun is where I can get a hold of it. That's one thing great about the awesome T5 custom Kydex holsters. I've got one that's in the waistband that I can wear at any position I want to, from appendix all the way around to the 4 o'clock position. So a lot of times when I go to step into a vehicle, if I'm not carrying appendix, I will shift it around to where I am. That way I can quickly grab my weapon and deploy it without having to worry about a seatbelt being in the way. And then of course, if something happens and I do need to deploy my weapon, I can deploy it either way I need to. If I'm coming out of my seatbelt, then I'm going to unclip and swim out of my seatbelt. I'm not going to try to jerk it or anything or get out of it any other way. I'm going to swim out of it to where I can deploy and get out quickly if I need to face a threat. If road rage, we've had a lot of incidents around our area that we're living in, driving on the interstate system around the the big city that we live close to. People are just getting road rage and start pulling guns on people running down the road. So we have to be situationally aware, looking for that. If you see somebody that's driving aggressively, they acted aggressively towards you, it's best just to let them go on and do their thing. It's not worth that confrontation going down the road, especially when I've got my family in here with me. And not just that, but it's not worth it now. If they pull their gun, they act like they're going to come aggressively towards me, then if I can't back off and get away from them, then yes, I will engage them if I have to. So as my phone rings, we will silence that as we're at a red light and cut the phone down to where we don't have to deal with that while we're driving, even with our hands free.
If you want me to get to me, I'll
We'll get it here in just a few minutes, no big deal. We can call them back. But anyway, that's kind of our thoughts on situational awareness as we're driving down the road. It's just something that kind of crossed our mind. And hopefully it gives you something to think about. We're going to do some more videos on being situationally aware while you're at the grocery store, supermarket, Walmart, whatever it is you may shop at. And if you're loading into a vehicle, your groceries, your kids, or whatever, we're going to talk about that in another video. So that's kind of it for today. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button at the bottom and hit that bell so you know when we're posting new stuff. And like our channel, follow our channel, share our channel, talk to folks about it, and spread the word. Stay safe, train hard. We'll see you next time. Hey Jess, knock knock. Interrupting cow. Moo! Who's there?
Flower.
Flower who?
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.